You're kidding?
I'm not joking.
So you're free?
So I'm 5 weeks away. Well done. That's it, congratulations. Let's get this leg over. Watch out. There we are. Is it done? Yeah, she's here. Just move this out of the way. Can you get me a towel and a hat, Abby? Thank you. Okay, we're going to move her up. Okay. Pop this on her. It's okay. Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today I thought I would sit down and finally film my birth story. I've been meaning to just film this because I don't want to forget anything, because if it wasn't for my video I did last time with Pia, I wouldn't even remember anything, but obviously my experience was a lot different back then, so I don't think that helped. But yeah, so I wanted to come on and just tell you guys how it went, really, because obviously you guys would have seen my birth video by now. It was obviously a little bit more hard to explain everything while I was going through the process, but now I've done it, I feel like I can, you know, sit down and actually talk about it. So I'm going to try and not ramble on too much because I don't want this video to be super long. But basically when I was 37 weeks pregnant, I had to go in for a scan because apparently she was growing on the bigger side and they wanted me to go in for a scan. So I went in at 37 weeks. They checked everything and everything was fine. But because they knew about what had happened last time, with me losing blood and how anxious I was about having a baby again, the doctor that I spoke to was really nice. I had a nice phone conversation with her and I explained my concerns and what I was scared about, and they reassured me, you know, what was going to be in place for if it happens again, etc. If you didn't know, basically I had to have a forceps delivery last time and I lost quite a lot of blood and it kind of scared me a lot. and I was kind of scared that if that was going to happen again, what would happen, you know. I wanted to know what would be in place this time. And she basically said, I do want you to come in at 39 weeks to just see how everything's going on, to see if she's still growing the same. So I was like, okay. So 39 weeks came exactly on the dot. I went in for my scan again at the hospital, an appointment with the doctor straight after my scan just to talk through it. So when she was checking it, seemed fine from the scan, from what she was saying, but then when I had my conversation with the doctor straight afterwards, he'd informed me that apparently since my last scan 2 weeks ago, she's kind of dropped and she's stopped growing and that she was growing a lot smaller now. So I was like, oh, okay. So that kind of started to freak me out, and I wasn't expecting it because in my head I thought, oh, I thought she was growing a lot bigger. So I was like, right, okay. And he said, we recommend you to be induced. And I have, obviously I know about being induced, especially because Aisha has been induced both times with high blood pressure. So I kind of knew the process of that already. And that was sort of suggested to me on the phone conversation before, if I would be interested in it, because obviously then I'd be in hospital and then, yeah, I would be there for when it all happens. But I was always a bit unsure if I wanted to be induced anyway. But because he said, we recommend you being induced, especially with her not growing that much from your last scan, so I was like, of course, yes, definitely, if that's what you recommend, I'm going to do it. So I went home, finished my hospital bag, which is what you guys would have seen the video that I filmed. That was literally the day before me going in, which is why I said I have a feeling it's going to be this week. It wasn't. I was in hospital a lot longer. But yeah, so I went home, packed my bag that same day, and then they said you'll get a call in the morning of what time they want you to come in. I said okay. There's me thinking it will happen randomly just in the afternoon. They called me first thing in the morning, I think about 7 o'clock in the morning, saying come in as soon as you can. I was like, oh, okay, this is going a lot quicker than I thought. Started to feel really anxious. Not gonna lie, I had a little cry because I was really scared. I was. And I don't know, maybe some people will be thinking, well, why have another baby if you're so scared? I want to have another baby, I was just scared of the birth. That's all. But I'm glad I did it. And sometimes you've got to do things that you're scared of, you know? So yeah, went into hospital, got my little beds, and they basically said, right, in this ward, we are going to get you to the point where we're ready to break your waters, and then when we're ready to break your waters, you'll go over to the delivery suite. And I was like, cool, okay, that sounds great. So they put the pessary in me. That's what they suggested that I had, and that has to stay in you for 24 hours. So that worked quite quickly for me, and I was getting contractions, a lot of pain, and I was like, cool, this is going to be a walk in the park. I can already feel things going on. 24 hours had gone past, so it was obviously day 2. They took the pessary out and they said, yep, we're ready to break your waters now. And I thought, great, so I'm going to be going over to the delivery suite now. Cool. And they were like, what we need to do now is just wait until there's room, and then you'll go over to the delivery suite. And I was like, okay, that's absolutely fine. I understand that there's obviously emergencies or people that waters have broke naturally on their own. I totally understand that, and I was absolutely fine with it. So I was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine, no worries. So day 2 went by, day 3 went by, day 4 went by. I'm not going to bore you with all the things that happened on those days because nothing happened. I just chilled in hospital. I think day 3 or day 4 I lost my mucus plug, and I was really happy because I was like, oh, something's happened. I was walking around the whole hospital pretty much every day, getting visits from Pia outside the hospital. It was nice to just see her, get some fresh air, and you know, because I was missing her loads because I obviously wasn't allowed to go home. Excuse my hair, it needs a wash. So it was nice to see her. 5 came, and the morning of, I was like really hopeful. I thought, you know what, I've got a good feeling about today. And I was right. So that morning they said, right, well, every single day, by the way, they'd say they have a meeting at a certain time in the day and we'll have more information then. And every day I'd wait for the information. They'd be like, sorry, it's not looking likely today. And I'd be like, it's fine. So that day came. Nothing happened for the whole day, and I was like, oh, it was getting really late, and they had like meetings, I think it's like 10 p.m. at night, and I said, okay, well, will you find out more at the meeting at 10 p.m? And they were like, yep, and if there's anything, we'll let you know. It's like, cool, okay. I remember getting up, and this is weird, me even saying this. I remember that night, the 5th night, I went to the toilet. And I think I was getting a bit sad at this point because I was like, why am I still here? And I really hope I don't come across like, oh, I should be in, because that's not what I understood completely, the priorities. Like, I completely understood that. But I was also getting scared because I thought the reason why I'm here is because you told me I need to be induced ASAP. So I was getting scared that, is my baby okay, because it's been 5 days, you know. I was getting so close to my due day as well, and I thought, you know what I'm trying to say? So I remember going to the toilet, went for my wee, I looked in the mirror and I was like, please, please, if anyone's listening, please, please let me leave this toilet, and she's going to come over as soon as I leave this toilet, and she's going to tell me there's room. And I was like, thank you. Stared at myself, thank you. And I was like, don't know what I was doing, clearly getting delusional at this point. So I went back to, literally went back, walked past her, I was like, hi, went back to my little room, which was at the window at the end, which was nice because I just stared out, and yeah, just stared out the window a lot of the time. And she literally came in a second after I sat down, and she was like, they're ready for you. And I was like, in my head I was like, whoa, I got powers? Like, how did that work? I was like, no way. I was like, oh my god, okay. And I told Ben, I was like, oh my god, this just happened. And then, so yeah, we got our stuff the 5th night and we went over to the delivery suite, and I was like, oh my god, something is about to happen. Like, I just felt really overwhelmed, and I was like, my god, I can't believe I'm gonna have a baby like tonight or tomorrow. Like, this feels so weird. And then I always knew I wanted epidural again. That was one thing that I knew for certain. So when I first got there, to my surprise, when I walked in, I actually knew the midwife. I used to work with her. If you didn't know, I used to work in Zara, and she used to work there. And I was like, I know you. She wasn't there for long, so I was like, at first it took me a moment, but then I was like, oh my god, like, we used to work together on the till. Like, this is crazy. And she was just, obviously she asked if I felt comfortable with her being my midwife, and I was like, absolutely. Like, this is so cool. Like, she could potentially be delivering my baby and I know her. Like, I just thought that was so cool, and I was like, yeah, like, that's amazing, let's do it. So she was like, okay, so I can see that you've opted for epidural. And I was like, yep. She was like, well, before we break your waters, we will give you the epidural, so then you won't feel anything, and then, you know, be a breeze. So you won't feel any pain. I was like, amazing, yep, that's fine. So the doctor came to do my epidural, and they put my epidural in, and this is where it went a little bit because I felt like the sensation all in my left when she put it in, and I was like, I don't remember feeling that before. And I told her, oh, just to let you know, I can feel all the sensation of it going in on my left. Is that normal? And she was like, not really, it's, you know, it's meant to be the middle. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm overthinking it. I said, it's fine. I just felt like I could feel it just on my left. And she was just like, just see how it is. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So once they'd done that, we waited a little bit for it to kick in. I think like, I don't remember with timings, but I remember we had to wait a bit for it to kick in, and then they'd come and break my waters. I remember it working, but I remember it mostly working just on my left side and not my right side. So I was like, I knew it. I could tell, like I could tell it was gonna be that way because I felt the sensation just on my left, you know, it going in. And then I felt this side all going numb, but not this side. But I thought, you know what, it might work. She was like, lay on your right side so you can, you know, get it all over on that side as well. And I said, okay. So I did that also. Then the doctors came in to break my waters. Because it had been 5 days since the day they said they could break my waters, they'd gone back up a bit. So they had to get a doctor to do it rather than the midwife because she couldn't do it. So the doctor came in, he done it, I closed my eyes and it was done. I didn't really feel the pain, so I guess the epidural was working to some extent. It was alright. So I had that, and then I felt my back like really wet, and the bed was wet, and I was like, I think I'm wet here. I was like, is that the waters? Like, what is it? And then I leant up and she was like, oh, your epidural's dripping out. And I was like, oh, I knew it wasn't working properly. It's because it was dripping out. So I could tell it wasn't working properly because I remember before feeling amazing when it was in. But this time was different. So she called the doctor back, and the doctor was like, we'll tape over it and it should be fine. It should still work fine. I said, just to let you know, I'm not feeling it in this side, but I am feeling it in this side. She was like, okay, see how you get on and we'll go by that. And I said, all right. Then they started me with the hormone drip. Basically, usually when they break your waters, if you're not having epidural, they usually say walk around a bit to see if you can get it starting on your own. But because I had epidural, they said, obviously you're not going to be able to do as much, so we'll just start the hormone drip straight away. And I was like, okay. And I kind of thought that that would be the case because that's what happened last time. They gave me the hormone drip, and after a while I started feeling pain. I was like, I'm feeling pain. It's definitely not worked properly. I can feel pain, and I remember last time I felt nothing. And I've heard stories from my friends, and they've all told me, you're so lucky, it didn't work for me properly. And I'm like, so weird, it works great for me. But no, not this time. I still felt the contractions, and it was all in my right side. And I was like, please can you tell the midwife, like I said to the midwife, please can you call the doctor back and please tell her that it's still leaking. Can she please do it again? Because, or just ask her for her opinion, because I can still feel loads of pain. So she called her back and she was like, okay, if you're still feeling the pain, I will do it again for you. And I said, amazing, thank you so much. I thought, okay, she'll do it again and it'll be fine. So she'd done it again, and then she went off, and I thought, right, okay, we'll just see how it goes. And then the next point after that was she was checking how much I was dilated, and I think when she checked it was just 1 to 2, so obviously still very new. And I think, don't quote me, but I think you check every 4 hours, or it might be 6, I can't remember. As I said, like, I'm already forgetting, but it's something like that, so you have to wait for the next one. In the meantime, I was still getting contractions, and she upped the dose, and my legs, let me just say, just because I had this experience doesn't mean that you will, because as I said, I've had epidural before and it was amazing, but this time it wasn't that great. I don't know what went wrong. I noticed that it wasn't the same lady who did it, because I remember the lady from before and it was a different one. But yeah, so don't think that this will happen to you, because it just happened to me. But when she upped it, my legs felt like really, really bad pins and needles, and they felt horrible. I hated it. It was so bizarre. Like, they felt like something had fallen on them, like bricks or something, and they'd just gone really numb, and I couldn't move them, which I know is the whole point, but I don't remember feeling that horrible pins and needles feeling. So that was very odd. And I was getting contractions really bad in my back, to the point where I couldn't lay on my back. Oh, the pain now, I can just remember that. So I laid on my side and I was like, Ben, like, please just rub the bottom of my back, that it hurts so much. Don't know how long had went past, either the 4-hour thing or the 6-hour. If you can hear my belly rumbling, I'm hungry, I'm gonna get some food after this. So yeah, so it came to the next point when I needed to be checked again. And I was so anxious, because I was like, I'm in so much pain, I don't know how much longer I can deal with this. Like, I was like, I don't know how much longer I can deal with this. I really just want to get started, because I physically just couldn't sit still. I could not sit still because my back was in agony. And I was just like crying to the midwife, like, I am in so much pain, like the epidural is just not worked. She checked me and I said, ideally, what are we looking at? Like, what should a good amount be now? Like, how many centimeters should I be dilated? And she was like, 6 to 7 is quite good for now. And I said, okay, that's fine. She checked me and she said I was fully dilated. And oh my God, I was like, amazing. Can I start pushing now, please? Because I'm in so much pain. I really need to start getting this baby out. She was like, oh no, we now need to wait an hour. And I was like, no, I can't wait an hour. I really can't. I'm in so much pain. I said, you know, I feel like I need to push. By this point, by the way, my midwives had changed, because it was like she did the overnight shift, and then it was like the next morning. So it happened all through the night. So this was my new lady who checked me, and I was 10 centimeters, and I was like, I'm in so much pain. It was my new midwife. Fortunately, my friend didn't get to deliver my baby, but she was amazing, and it was so nice to see a familiar face. It helped the experience as well. Yeah, it made the experience a lot nicer. But I will say the midwives are all amazing there. I had an amazing experience last time, an amazing experience this time. So yeah, if you're having your baby in Norwich, no worries, like, the midwives are lovely. And I'm sure all midwives are anyway. Like, I don't know anyone that's had a bad experience. But yeah, so as I was saying, I was like, I can't wait an hour. I can't. I'm in so much pain. And I felt sensation, like pressure down below. I could feel that. And I said, like, I can feel like pressure, like I feel like I need to push. And she was like, I mean, like we would recommend you like wait an hour, but if you feel like you need to push, go on, you can push then. Like, okay, if you feel like you need to, I said, I feel like I need a poo. That was a sensation that I had. I feel like I need a poo. And she was like, okay, that's fine. If you feel like you need to push, you push. And I said, okay, well, my contraction's now coming, can I push? And she was like, yeah. So she was at the bottom and Ben was rubbing my back. As I said, I was on the side. I had to put my leg up on one of the, you know what I mean, on the bed thing. And I pushed. And she was like, before I pushed, she was like, so when you get close, I'll call another midwife to just help me. And I said, okay, that's fine. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to push. Contractions come in. I pushed. And she looked and she was like, huh, I think this is going to happen a lot quicker than I thought. And I thought, amazing, I'm doing something. Oh, yeah, this is happening. And she was like, I'm just going to quickly go and get the midwife. I'll be really quick. And I said, okay, that's fine. So she went and got another midwife. And I was like, oh my God, okay, another contraction's coming. So I pushed and the head came out and I felt it and it was really weird. But what I will say is my epidural worked enough that I didn't feel no burning sensation. So it worked to some extent. Thank God for that. So the head came out with my second push. Ben I think was looking. He said he looked. So he was like, oh yeah, the head's come out. And at this point, I wasn't filming. And I knew I'd be so upset with myself if I didn't get this bit on camera, because I wanted the memory for when Nyla's older, the same as I have the memory for Pia. Not, you know, not necessarily for it to go online. I just knew I wanted it for my own purposes anyway. She was like, you know, the head's out, one more big push. And I was like, okay. So then on my third push, and I pushed her out and she was here. And I was like, I can't believe I'd done it like myself this time. It felt so weird, but it felt great because obviously last time I had to have help. And this time I didn't. And it felt amazing. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But I was also relieved because I was in so much pain. I was like, I've done it. I'm so happy. And it was just cute. We had a great little bonding session. I cried. I think Ben cried. Nyla definitely cried. And then I forgot about this. That placenta, waiting for that to come out. It's horrible because I had to lay on my back, and as I said, that's where my contractions was, and they were still there. And I was like, oh my God, is it coming out yet? And the placenta took a while to come out, and it finally came out, and then I had to be stitched up. Very thankful that I didn't lose that much blood this time. I had a few stitches. My legs were like this, what felt like forever. So I've got a lot of pain now from having my legs like that. And thankfully I didn't lose as much blood this time, just a normal amount, I'm pretty sure. And I had a few stitches, and yeah, that was it. And then after a few hours, I was still getting really bad pains, but it's very normal with your second to get like those pains afterwards as well. But also, like, of course I'm going to be in pain, I've just had a baby. After a few hours, we got moved over to the ward, and yeah, spent the night there. And the next day we came out with our baby girl, and now we're home. It's been a week and it feels amazing to have her home, and we're getting used to everything now, and it's all been amazing. So that is my birth story. I wanted to let you all in. I wanted to obviously let you guys all know. I know some of you guys were asking, but if you're having a baby soon, I'm super excited for you. Enjoy every minute of it because it really does go by super quick. So my feelings after having the baby is I'm fine so far. Like I feel okay, thankfully, because last time I kind of struggled a bit afterwards. I think it's just with everything that happened, but this time my hormones are definitely like this. I'm having a few cries here and there, but I'm okay, which is nice. I'm just really enjoying this little moment, this brand new moment with my family. So yeah, I wanted to come on and film this for you guys, and yeah, I'm happy I did. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys soon for a brand new video. Bye bye.